Michoacán, Mexico, a place where green hills roll endlessly, broken only by the sharp edges of mountains. From a distance, it looks like paradise, orchards heavy with fruit, church bells echoing across valleys. But anyone who grew up here knows the truth. Paradise ends at the edge of town, where the dirt roads turn to dust and the police never come. It was here, sometime in the 1960s, that José de Jesús Méndez Vargas was born. His home was little more than adobe walls and a tin roof, the kind that rattled in the wind. His father worked the land, though the land gave back little. His mother's faith was unshakable, candles lit for saints, rosaries clutched in her hands, prayers whispered over sleeping children. From a young age, José understood two things. Faith could comfort the weak, and silence could protect the clever. He sat quietly in church pews, not for the sermons, but to watch faces. He memorized who came in late, who avoided the priest's eyes, who slipped out early. It was a skill that would one day keep him alive. By the time José was a teenager, Michoacán had become a crossroads for smuggling. Marijuana fields hid in the hills, and small meth labs began to sprout like weeds. Teenagers like him earned money carrying packages hidden inside crates of limes or sacks of corn. He started small, errands, deliveries, messages. But what set him apart was his memory. He remembered every address, every face, every detail. Older traffickers noticed. "You're wasted carrying bags," one told him. "You should be counting the money, not moving it." José never argued. He learned. He learned how shipments were scheduled, how bribes were paid, how the police could be made to look the other way. He learned that in this business, strength was valuable, but intelligence could make you untouchable. By the late 1990s, methamphetamine was no longer just a local trade. It was a booming export to the United States. This was when José met the man who would change everything, Nazario Moreno Gonzalez, known as El Más Loco. Nazario wasn't like the others. He didn't just talk about money, he talked about morality, about cleansing Michoacán of evil, even as he built one of the largest drug empires in Mexico. He quoted scripture while planning ambushes. He handed out Bibles along with cash. For Nazario, José was the perfect complement. Disciplined, methodical, and capable of turning vision into structure. Their alliance birthed La Familia Michoacana, a cartel wrapped in the language of faith. At first, their message worked. They paid for school supplies in poor towns. They repaired roads the government ignored. People called them protectors. But anyone who crossed them discovered the other side of the gospel, a side written in fear. La Familia perfected a tactic few cartels dared to use, branding their violence. When they eliminated enemies, they left handwritten notes citing divine justice. Sometimes a Bible verse was tucked into the victim's clothing. The point wasn't the killing, it was the message. The people could accept violence if it felt justified, and José understood that better than most. "Give them a reason, even a false one," he told his men, "and they'll defend you like family." His role was less about pulling triggers and more about ensuring every action served the larger narrative. Every bribe, every shipment, every judgment fit into the story La Familia told the people. We are not criminals. We are protectors. By 2006, La Familia controlled most of the meth trade in western Mexico. Truckloads crossed the border into Texas every month. Politicians were bought. Police chiefs were on the payroll. And in small villages, children wore backpacks paid for with drug money. But that year, President Felipe Calderón declared war on the cartels. Soldiers poured into Michoacán. Battles erupted on highways and in town squares. For the first time, the army was hunting La Familia directly. José adapted. He reorganized routes, moving shipments at night along back roads only locals knew. He ordered safe houses to be stocked with food, weapons, and fuel for months at a time. His men learned to vanish before the military arrived, leaving nothing but tire tracks in the dirt. In one clash, federal police tried to raid a safe house near Apatzingan. José's men were gone before the first truck stopped, the meth lab stripped clean. It was as if the building had never been used. In December 2010, news broke. Nazario Moreno had been killed in a firefight. The government declared victory. La Familia denied it, claiming their leader was still alive. But rumors of his death were enough to shake the foundation of the cartel. Without Nazario's charisma, someone had to take the throne. José stepped forward, not as a prophet, but as a commander. The sermons stopped. The gifts to communities slowed. What remained was the machinery of a drug empire, stripped of its moral disguise. Some lieutenants accepted his rule. Others broke away, forming the Knights Templar cartel. The split turned former allies into enemies. Michoacán bled as the war shifted from cartel versus government to cartel versus cartel. The year 2011 was chaos. Convoys of armored trucks rolled through the hills. Gunfights broke out in daylight. Entire villages emptied overnight. José moved constantly, staying no more than one night in the same place. He trusted few, rotated his bodyguards, and communicated through layers of couriers. He stopped smiling, stopped making small talk. One former associate recalled, he only asked 2 questions, where's the money, and who can't be trusted? But war drained resources. Each battle cost money, and fear alone couldn't hold the cartel together. By mid-2011, federal police had mapped his network. Informants whispered his location. Safe houses fell one by one. June 21, 2011. Aguascalientes. A tip placed him at a small meeting in the city. Units surrounded the area quietly, sealing off escape routes. No gunfire, no chase. When agents entered the building, they found him sitting at a table, unarmed, a half-empty bottle of water in front of him. After years of commanding armies, his arrest was quiet, almost anticlimactic. With José in custody, La Familia splintered further. The Knights Templar absorbed much of its territory. The divine image that had once made the cartel unique crumbled. In prison, José was kept in isolation. No more radios, no more encrypted phones, no more late-night convoys. Just 4 walls, a cot, and endless time to remember how quickly an empire can disappear. Years later, in Michoacán, the echoes of La Familia still remain. Other cartels have copied their tactics, using religion to justify control, claiming to protect communities while profiting from them. Because José de Jesús Méndez Vargas proved something dangerous. Faith can be a shield, fear can be a sword, and together they can rule nations. Some men hide behind faith, some behind fear, but the deadliest hide behind both. El Chango didn't just command a cartel, he preached one.